Said that I demanded a hotel room for Devi, and he actually sat me and told me, listen, you're a Deol. I can't have you living with us. You need a hotel room. And then he says, I demanded one. Told me.
Why I'm coming to that is, while you spoke about it and a lot was written about your words and the statements, sometimes we also know that they are broken and put across and sometimes misconstrued.
Tell me about it.
Does it come to the fact that when an actor honestly wants to put out an opinion about something which he really feels strongly about, can really be misconstrued by all the sectors?
I've had, look, I've
because
been,
the conversation intent I get it. I'm not like
I know,
touching
and
base
I
on
respect you for asking that. I've very transparent and I'm very reactionary. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm not perfect, you know, especially when you're in this film industry, which is a really tough environment to be in. And then I ended at a time when everything was so set and in stone, you know, that to go against it would make you even more vulnerable, you know, to people and have you being misunderstood, as you say. And even people I thought were friends and directors I were closely, one particular guy who gaslit me, manipulated me, and I was reactionary, so I was easy to be manipulated, you know. And yeah, you are vulnerable. You are vulnerable, and I did not feel the need to change myself, because I believed to change myself would be to give in, to play the game, and I'll become just like them. And as I've grown older, I realized, no, wait a minute, if I should play the game to protect myself. And if I'm doing that, that doesn't mean I'm playing the game and becoming like them, no. It just means I'm being smart. And if I want to avoid being manipulated, then you must gauge the other person, and instead of reacting, respond. And a response is, with the word response, responsible. Yeah. So just because you're responding doesn't mean you're becoming just like them. It just means you're protecting yourself, and it's important for you to do so because you're a public figure. And the amount of time I've been gaslit, not the amount of time, but recently I've been gaslit by this one director who also said lies about me. You know, Anurag said that I demanded a hotel room for Devi, and he actually sat me and told me, listen, you're a Deol. I can't have you living with us. You need a hotel room. And then he says, I demanded one. So it was like, what? Like, that was a big shock to me. Like, I remember him, but I didn't say anything until now because it'll become my word against his. So you can't even defend yourself, because then you're giving attention to someone and something it was 12 years ago. I don't give a shit. He also messaged me to apologize after that. Like, so there's one persona for the public, and there's another persona that's behind the public. And I'm in the middle of it, you know. For me, what you see is what you get. If I'm going to say something that is a mistake, fine, I'll own it. But I'm not going to say something to you, the press, and there's something behind your back. And so that was hard. Like, that happened not too often. I've had a film of mine where they put deliberate negative stories because they thought I'll get more eyeballs. And they didn't mean to write negative stories about me, but they hired a journalist who hated me. So the only negative stories about my film was about me. And I was like, I had a fight with the director. Like, like, the director didn't mean it, but that's what ended up happening. So there's many things that happen to you when you are vocal, when you are outspoken, when you are reactionary. You're not going to be perfect all the time, but at least you're being authentic. I've always been me, whether right or wrong.
Of course.
So it's not...
So it's a tough job at the end of the day, as we just...
Look, tough is tough, that's fine. You know, I can deal with that. But lies and backstabbing and gaslighting, when you're a public figure, that's the one thing I'd say that makes this job slightly
And more
harder.
Than that, because actors are vulnerable people at the end of the day. They are creative minds.
Yeah, I mean, they're vulnerable not just because they're creative, they're vulnerable because they're public figures.
And we have the public figures who people look up to, so yeah, might as well.
So, you know, and we were having this conversation before the interview started, the responsibility of being right about what you report.
Exactly, what you report.
Because it has a much bigger impact when you're a public figure than if you're not somebody known by the public.